Hey, I'm Jamie East, and today's episode of The Smart 7 is sponsored by Vodafone Business in partnership with Samsung. If you're running a business, any kind of business, you're probably spending some time thinking about AI, what to do, how much to use it, and how to get started. The answer could be in your pocket. The Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, powered by Vodafone Business's reliable award-winning network, will help you unleash your productivity through brilliant built-in Galaxy AI. And over the next few weeks, we're going to answer some of the questions you might have about how best to unlock the power of AI in your business. For example,
how can I adapt the way I currently work to include AI?
Start small, identify repetitive or slow tasks, test AI tools for those and build them into existing processes. For example, drafting emails, summarising meetings or automating social posts. Remember to train staff to treat AI as an assistant, not a replacement, and create simple checklists for when AI should be used. If you've got a Galaxy S25 Ultra, you can also use Now Brief, a Galaxy AI feature. It's a daily report personalised for you and schedule reminders so you can stay prepared and focused. Getting back to the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, to take advantage of the features and change the way you do business, you'll need a Samsung account and a network connection. To find out more, search Vodafone Business Samsung, and for network verification, go to vodafone.co.uk/network. Access to On today's Smart 7, Survivors defend safeguarding minister over inquiry, the King and the Pope make history, and much more. It's Friday the 24th of October, it's World Kangaroo Day, and happy birthday, Ray!
The Smart 7. It's news, but
Not the news.
Prime Minister Keir Starmer was in Brighton on Thursday, visiting a Barclays Bank branch as he tried to generate some enthusiasm for his proposed digital ID scheme. He told the BBC that customers seemed really excited about it and the idea that it would cut down on fraud and scams. Meanwhile, the ongoing row over the grooming gangs inquiry continued, with Tory Shadow Minister James Cleverly adding his voice to calls for Safeguarding Minister Jess Phillips to resign.
But ultimately, to get the most out of this inquiry, the victims that should be at the heart of this have got to have full confidence in that inquiry. That is not what we're seeing.
That view doesn't match with what the survivors are saying, however, as 5 of the women at the centre of the inquiry have written to both the Prime Minister and the Justice Secretary, Shabana Mahmood. They're calling for a judge or lawyer to run the inquiry, but they're also saying they'll only continue working with the inquiry if the Safeguarding Minister stays in her role. They say she's devoted her life to hearing and amplifying the voices of women and girls who would otherwise have been unheard. Minister for Children Josh McAllister was also backing Phillips.
There's almost no one else in Parliament with the same depth of experience of Jess Phillips in listening to survivors of abuse. She's got the confidence of the Prime Minister, the Home Secretary, and I know Jess, and she cares a lot about getting this right.
Ukrainian President Zelensky continued his tour on Thursday, arriving in Brussels for a conference with European leaders. He was calling for a quicker decision on whether or not to release frozen Russian assets to Ukraine, to buy more military equipment, promising that the money will be spent with European weapon manufacturers. He also says he still hopes that Tomahawk missiles could be possible, and he's meeting Keir Starmer for a summit in London on Friday. With America finally moving to place sanctions on Russia, Zelensky was sounding more optimistic about the potential for a step towards peace.
Ceasefire is possible, of course, and I think all of us need ceasefire. But we need more pressure on Russia for ceasefire.
Putin has admitted that the US sanctions may cause some losses, but says he will never bow to pressure from the United States. EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas says cancelling the Trump summit in Budapest was the right move.
Everybody can see that Russia is not moving in any way, has not changed goals, and therefore, if they don't want peace, then we have to put more pressure on Russia so that they would also want peace, and there is point in meeting.
Prime Minister Keir Starmer has promised to smash the smuggling gangs that have seen record numbers cross the Channel so far this year. But despite a new Home Secretary and a high-profile deal with France, things don't seem to be getting any better. This week has seen the total number of people crossing in 2025 reach more than 38,000. That's the same number for the whole of 2024, and we still have more than 2 months to go. To add insult to injury, one of the people returned to France on the one-in, one-out scheme reappeared in the UK on another small boat this week. The Immigration Services Union's Lucy Morton told the BBC that the French may have stepped back from their part of the enforcement deal on small boats.
The individuals in France performing the border functions
are regularly attacked. Their injury rate is really quite nasty. And if you wade into the sea carrying a big knife, it's only a matter of time before the people on the boat have a big knife that they wave back at you.
A 500-year-old dispute came to an end on Thursday, well, at least partly. King Charles made history on his state visit to the Vatican when he prayed with the new Pope Leo XIV. The split between Catholicism and Protestantism dates back to 1536 when King Henry VIII broke away from the Catholic Church after his appeal for an annulment of his marriage to Catherine of Aragon was rejected. Things have changed since, and earlier this year, King Charles had a private visit with Pope Francis prior to his death, but Thursday's public celebration of piety was an historic moment.
O God, make speed to save us.
You are worthy, our Lord and God, to receive glory and honour and power. For you created all things, and by your will they existed and were created.
Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit.
Still to come on today's Smart 7 in association with Metro, Nottingham Forest get a fresh start, and Jon Bon Jovi is heading back to the big stage. Right after this. Hey, I'm Jamie East, and today's episode of the Smart 7 is sponsored by Vodafone Business in partnership with Samsung. When you're running your own business, pretty much anywhere can be your office, the spare room, the back garden, or, like here, the local cafe. With the power of Vodafone Business's reliable award-winning network, combined with the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, there's no limit to what you can do pretty much anywhere. And over the next few weeks, we're going to answer some of the questions you might have about how best to unlock the power of AI in your business. For example,
How can I adapt the way I currently work to include AI?
start small, identify repetitive or slow tasks, test AI tools for those and build them into existing processes. For example, drafting emails, summarising meetings or automating social posts. Remember to train staff to treat AI as an assistant, not a replacement, and create simple checklists for when AI should be used. If you've got a Galaxy S25 Ultra, you can also use Now Brief, a Galaxy AI feature. It's a daily report personalised for you and schedule reminders so you can stay prepared and focused. Getting back to the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, to take advantage of the Galaxy AI features and change the way you do business, you'll need a Samsung account and a network connection. To find out more, search Vodafone Business Samsung, and for network verification, go to vodafone.co.uk/network. Welcome back. Thursday saw a packed schedule of Europa League and Conference League action with 36 games in total. Rangers and Aberdeen lost, while Celtic won in Austria, and Crystal Palace hosted Cypriot side AEK Larnaca in the Conference League but lost 1-0. Aston Villa were in Holland to face the magnificently named Go Ahead Eagles, but they lost to the Dutch Minnows 2-1. All eyes were on Nottingham Forest and new manager Sean Dyche as they faced Porto at home. They'd gone 8 games without a win under Ange Postecoglou, but things turned around with a 2-0 win to the manager's delight.
We've got to win games, and I think to get off to a winning start, a clean sheet, of course. So to get that, to get a win for the crowd and for the players, just to blow a bit more belief back into them, you know what I mean? So I'm really pleased for them and the fans.
Jon Bon Jovi was in Ireland on Thursday, not just for a random visit, but to announce a massive stadium tour next summer. He and the band are back together after a vocal scare and serious surgery on his vocal cords. And when he says massive stadium tour, he means they're only playing massive stadiums, with a gig in Dublin's Croke Park, along with Murrayfield in Scotland and London's Wembley Stadium. He's looking forward to getting back on the road.
I don't do it for the applause. I'm not that applause junkie. I do it for the joy, and I do it for the art. And the rest of it is great because I'm good at it. But if you couldn't do it from a place of joy, what's the motivation?
Vince Gilligan is the man who gave us Breaking Bad and the spin-off Better Call Saul. Before that, he was a writer and director on The X-Files, and he has shelves of awards including 4 Emmys. So when you hear that he's got a new science fiction series on the way, you're allowed to get excited. It's called Pluribus, and it stars Rhea Seehorn, who also appeared in Better Call Saul. She plays the world's most miserable person who has to save the world from a happy virus. The first 2 episodes drop on Apple TV on November 7th.
We just want you to be happy.
Can I ask a question? How do I reverse all this? Rest assured, Carol, we will figure out what makes you different.
Figure it out, why?
So you can join us.
What the
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes and we'll give you the world.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.